The Canoga team was one of the first organized teams. During this period of time, Stingrays were in, and we started building 36-spoked wheels instead of the stock 28s on Stingrays. And we called them AJ wheels after one of the kids that we used to kind of hang out with who broke his leg. So we named him in his honor, AJ wheels. And then we started converting them. We started selling wheels separately and then putting them on stock Stingrays. And during that period of time, as I understand it, we sold tons. We were the largest Stingray dealer in the United States. And then after that, when all of these bikes in service, we developed the new reputation of having the highest frame replacement rate in the country. Because and ultimately, in some ways it was a good thing. And yeah, we understand that there was, putting 36-spoke wheels and kids jumping and doing all that stuff was brutal on frames. And the outgrowth of that bike ultimately became the Schwinn Scrambler. Long crank, reinforced frames. And then after that, the team that we had parlayed together as the Canoga Cycle Center team ultimately became the core for the official Schwinn team. The original bike shop team, probably Eric Rupe is the only one. Eric and Robbie Rupe were the only two on that original team that went through the Schwinn team and have kind of gone onward.
When we first got hooked up with Schwinn, which was in '77, I thought I was living a dream. I couldn't believe it. They were just starting to give us all this stuff. My brother and I used to have to do chores and work hard to earn money to buy any of our bike parts. And now this team is going to give us everything. And we had top of the line stuff on our bikes. I had Dura Ace cranks on my bike, and those things were expensive at the time. And it was first class. I was really excited. Wearing that jersey was something special. I was proud to be part of it. And then on the '78 tour, we went to the factory in Chicago and got to meet the bigwigs and got a tour of the factory. And it was quite an operation because there was nothing made overseas. Everything was made there. I never saw before or since an operation like that. It was impressive. They made all the bikes there. They laced the wheels there. It was just incredible. We got to watch them weld the frames, jig the frames, the heat treating processes, the chroming. They did everything. It was unbelievable. And I'll never forget the big machine that laced the wheels and trued the wheels, and it was quite a big deal. But meeting the guys who owned it, I got to meet, Schwinn is a family name, so I got to meet Rick Schwinn, and then the guys that were the presidents of the company, and then the managers and all that. And it was a big operation. I'll bet those guys thought at that time, this is never going to end, because that company had been around 100 years, Yeah, it was great. First sponsor was Canyon Cyclery Bike Shop, which was a Schwinn shop. And, back then, Schwinn had their brand exclusively sold in these bike shops, But this shop also started carrying these Mongoose bikes. And that's the frame that my dad first bought me. And probably maybe a year and a half after I started racing, my brother and I both got sponsored by this bike shop, and it was great having a jersey. My goodness, that was exciting. They were red and white, had my name on it and everything. And then, funny, because the manager of that bike shop was approached by Ernie Alexander by the Schwinn Bicycle Company about starting a team, a real team. Russ Okawa was managing the bike shop at the time. So Ernie comes to Russ, puts him together with the Schwinn people, and he just takes that Schwinn bike shop team, turns it into the Schwinn factory team. So that was, to be honest with you, the first legitimate factory team in the history of BMX, because we had everything taken care of, and they paid for everything. We went everywhere. It was first class all the way. It was years down the road before guys started getting paid and stuff, but we had everything paid for by Schwinn, which was just, it was like being a superstar, and I was only 14 at the time. It was amazing.